Get in shape, 5 simple steps. So if you're driving or working out, consider just listening and taking it in. So I'm going to share with you the key principles on what I feel like it takes to get in shape. And I'm going to give you 5 simple steps. If by chance you do have access to pen or paper, consider grabbing that, because I'm going to share some things with you that we're going to want to lock in and internalize really down deep into your memory and into your soul. So to get in shape, I feel the very first thing to consider, Jay's in the house. Welcome, Jay. Good to see you, brother. I was going a little early today, hoping to catch you. To get in shape, I feel like the very first thing to do, I feel like, is to have a very clear, very specific goal. So I'm sure that Jay and I both have our goals set. So consider, if you're watching this and thinking about this and want to get in shape, consider dialing it down into a very clear, very specific goal, even down to a specific body weight and body fat percent, right? And then I feel like that's very important. Imagine for a moment that you're building out a dream home, and it was a brand new home from scratch. You wouldn't just build it without having a blueprint, right? But that's exactly right, is we would have a blueprint. So with that in mind, consider building your fitness blueprint, a blueprint of exactly what it is if you could have it any kind of way you wanted, you could have that. And then dial it down, get clear and specific, from every shape, to your body shape, to your body fat percent, to the clothes you're going to be wearing on your body, to the how you look out of the shower and things like that. Just dial it in, get clear and specific. One little fun exercise to do, a visualization exercise that I've enjoyed and share with you, is next time you lay down or when you get ready to go to sleep at night, can rest and get your clear down from your head down to your toe. Just get really relaxed, and just close your eyes and scan your body and get really, really relaxed. And then visualize your body, your shape, your fitness. Visualize it exactly how you want it to be. Think about it exactly how you want it to be. Maybe you're getting out of the shower, maybe getting out of the car, maybe you're coming home, you're just looking at yourself in the mirror, you're working out. How do you see yourself visualize driving around, if you drive a car, or walking around, whatever? Just how do you see yourself in those instances, in the kind of shape that you want to be in? Think about that. Let's get that clear and specific. Let's check the chat. Trying to connect with my chest more. My physio said I use too much shoulders. Oh, that's interesting. I've been trying to do the same thing. I was just been working on that too. Actually, this part of the chest actually is what I'm the very upper part of the chest. So sometimes I feel like that's the hardest part for most men to build, and probably even women. But the real upper shelf, like right there, not in the deltoid at all, but right that hole, that piece right there, the upper shelf right there. And that's, I feel like from all the coaching that I've been having and working on my physique too, I'm trying to lift that up and get that higher up. And I'll just share some of my favorite moves right now. Jay, have been the incline barbell press. Yeah, and then at like a 45 degree, and then a slightly higher angle on go to the Smith incline press. That's been enjoyable. I'll do that, and then I'll also work in shoulders, because I'll also do the standing barbell military press in that same workout. That's been enjoyable. And then on a separate chest workout, what I really enjoy doing is the champagne press. Have you done that with the dumbbells? So imagine you're laying back on a 45-degree bench, and you have the dumbbells like this, though, like a parallel grip, and then you press kind of in a banana shape, press up, and it's for the upper chest. But good luck with that. Yes, I wish you the best. We're both working on the same thing. I feel like in that regard, and I love a good chest, and it's really kind of like this, almost the centerpiece. Chest and abs are like the centerpiece of our physique. So now that's a good example of having a clear, specific goal right there. We're just talking about clear, specific goals. That is a very good example of having a clear, specific goal. So now once we have the goal, how do we build out a plan? So I feel like the 5 simple steps are exercise, nutrition, recovery, supplementation, and mindset. And then we're going to break each one of these down. Let's first look at training. When it comes to just training in general, I feel it's important to have a combination of strength training part of the program and cardiovascular part of the program, like a 50, so to say. So imagine for a moment we have a twin engine airplane, and one engine is cardiovascular and one engine is strength. And we want to have both engines going real consistently on that plane right there, right? Now, imagine if you only had one engine, if you just did weights or if you just did cardio, well, it wouldn't be as efficient unless we had both engines going on the plane. So I encourage you to have a combination of strength training and cardiovascular training. In the long run, it's really good to keep that body fat down, and it's good for the cardiovascular system. So it's a good way to do it. There's hundreds, but there's several different ways to include it. If you have time, I like doing my cardio in the morning and then eating a little bit and doing the weights in the afternoon. But if you are forced to do them all together, consider doing a warm up, do your weights and then do cardio after, or just do cardio on separate days. But just get it in there somehow. Just somehow getting it in there, right? I'm just going to go check the chat. Let's see here. Yes, I want a better chest. Pull have been going better. I do 2 different chest supported T-bar rows on both my pull days. 3 times 6 to 8, and I'm getting better and better. That's good for you. You know, thinking about the back, Jay, I'll share with you one thing that I've been working on too is that, you know, that lower lats, right? Yeah, the lower lats where the lats come down, and then that lower piece, you know, and then you have the Christmas tree, right? That lower lats. I've been working on I was watching, I don't know if you're familiar with the trainer, Charles Glass. He's a trainer. He's on YouTube. He trains out in Gold's Gym in Venice, California. I believe that's where it is. But he's on YouTube, and he was doing a really cool pull down version. I've done it before, but I saw it this time and it just resonated a little different. But he kind of takes a medium grip pull down like this. And so from the side, but he pulls it down and stays upright. Doesn't do the traditional, you know, row like this, like that, right? But it does the row and stays strict and maybe like a 2-1-2-0 tempo, like a 1-2, hold 1-1-2-0, 1-2, hold, but he stays right up. And man, it really hits the lower lats real sweet. So I just thought I would share that with you. I do 1 pull day, 1, and 1 on pull day 2, not 2 different T-bar row. No, of course. Yeah, no, I hear you, brother. Nice. So thanks for sharing. It's good to chat with you about all this training stuff. So let's so we talked about basic training. Now let's look at how to make up a good strength training program. I feel there are basically 5 key elements to consider: proper form, variety, intensity, proper training principles, and consistency. So let's break them down. So with proper form, what's the benefits of proper form? Mainly so that we exercise the muscle effectively and efficiently, and then also too, so we don't get hurt. 2 big reasons. Let's look at variety. Why is it important to change it up from time to time? Why not just do the same workout over and over again? Variety is important because have you ever heard of a plateau? A plateau is where you get to a certain point in your fitness journey and you get stuck and you don't move on to the next level. So one thing to consider is adding variety into your routine so that you continue not getting plateaued. You continue breaking, keep on rising up through your fitness journey, right? Then also too, we can mentally get bored. So I know if we do the same thing over and over, it can be mentally boring, right? So that's the thing with that. So that's variety. So let's look at intensity. What comes to mind when you think about exercising with intensity? Why is that important? Well, imagine for a moment, say if we're doing incline barbell chest presses and say we're going for 10 repetitions. We get to 7, 8, 9, and we barely get 10. Ooh, boom, we got number 10. What's the most beneficial part of that set? The first few reps or the last few reps? Well, it'd be the last few reps, right? And why would it be the last few reps? That's where the overload occurs. That's where the breakdown occurs. See, it's when we're working out, it's when we're stressing the body out. That's where the breakdown occurs. And then it's through the rest and recovery that the muscles grow back and build back stronger. So it's really a cycle. So you work out, you eat, sleep, you work out, eat, sleep, work out, eat. You keep doing this over and over again, and you keep building this wonderful muscle that's so good for you, right? But it just takes time. It's like planting a flower or a tree. It's going to grow. You just have to be consistent with it. Eat, do your workouts, eat healthy, get your rest, right? These are the basic 5 simple steps: exercise, nutrition, recovery, supplementation, and mindset, right? So we looked at proper form, variety, intensity. Let's look at proper training principles. There are several different training principles. You can really have fun with this. Compound sets, supersets, drop sets, up and down the rack, 21s, giant sets. There's so many things to pull from. I encourage you to look up all the principles. As a matter of fact, all the principles are going to be inside this app here eventually. And it's a free app. It's called Workouts for All. So whether you have Android or Apple, go to your store and look up Workouts, the number 4, then ALL. It's a free download. You can set up a free account. And I'm going to be adding more workouts to the app. It has quite a bit on it right now. It has all my nutritional resources, has lots of exercises. I'm building out the plans right now. So be sure to go check it out, right? But you're going to find out the ways of including the benefit of that to you is you're going to learn to include different training principles. Then last but not least, part of training is the power of consistency. Now, what comes to mind when you think about exercising and consistency? What comes to mind? Well, imagine for a moment we have you, and say if we have a twin of you, right? And say you have the same goals. So we're going to meet back up here in 1 year and see how the journey went. Now, you work out on a regular basis. You eat healthy. You get your rest. You supplement intelligently. You have a good mindset. And you do that for a year. Your twin starts off that way, but then misses a workout here and there, skips a meal here and there, eats some junk here and there, doesn't always get the full amount of sleep. At the end of the year, who is going to have the best results? It's going to be the consistent version of yourself, right? So the power of consistency is very, very important in this fitness game. You don't just plant a tree and then not water it. It's going to die, right? How you plant your fitness journey is you get on an exercise program. There's a million different ways to do it. There's not just one way to do it. Eat healthy. Get your sleep. You just do those 3 core things right there. You will be successful. Now, so we talked about the 5 elements of training: proper form, variety, intensity, proper training principles, and consistency. Now, let's look at nutrition. So imagine for a moment that we want to build a beautiful 2-story house from scratch, right? And then imagine that we're trying to build this house But imagine we only have half of the materials necessary to build the house. How far are we going to get? Probably about halfway, part of the way, right? So the foods that you and I eat on a daily basis are like the supplies that goes towards building our bodies. So the foods that every day, the things that we eat, are either helping us become healthier and bigger, more muscular and stronger and leaner, or it's setting us back. We're gaining body fat and getting more dis-ease, right? So what I recommend considering a whole food plant-based diet of about 50% fruits and vegetables, 25% whole grains, and 25% plant-based proteins like legumes, lentils, nuts, seeds, and even delicious protein powders. There's so many delicious smoothies. We're going to talk about supplements in a minute, but you can add that for more protein if you want that. Now, if you want to do a little deeper dive into the research on this for yourself, consider watching the documentary, The Game Changers. THE, like The Game Changers. It's on Netflix and YouTube. And consider watching it. They break down the science. And we should, I even maybe on another time, we'll do maybe another review of that or something. Some kind of video about that where we can do it together. But consider watching it. It's on Netflix or YouTube. The Game Changers. Go enjoy it. It's a really good documentary, and just listen and take in what they're saying. The guy that's the behind the whole movie himself is a MMA fighter who had an injury, and on his injury outing did this deep dive into nutrition and found out why this style of eating is best. Check the chat. Though I'm confused though. What are you confused about, Jay? Thanks, buddy. Let me know. Please, let's get you squared up. So, one other thing on nutrition, I feel there are basically 4 different ways in which eating affects our bodies. It's our metabolism, our energy levels, our blood sugar levels, and our insulin levels. So imagine for a moment that we have a fireplace. And imagine on one hand, we have a stack of oak wood, and on the other hand, we have a stack of paper. Now, not including kindling and getting the fire started, but if we had to choose between the oak wood or the paper, which one would you pick and why? Now, most of us will pick the oak wood, and why? Because it's going to burn longer, slower, more efficiently, right? Papers are going to burn real fast, real inefficiently. So some foods burn more like the oak wood, like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, lentils, nuts, seeds. And some foods burn more like paper, processed foods, sugars, alcohol, things like that, right? So consider eating the whole foods like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, lentils, nuts, seeds, right? Hope that makes sense. My free resources, all for free, are on the app. All you have to do is go download the app. It is for free download, and it's the name of the app is Workouts for All. Workouts, the number 4, ALL. It's a free download, and you can get my free nutritional resources. What do you mean, Jay? I'm not sure. I'm just talking about training and nutrition, all stuff that you are doing really good at. If you say something specifically, I can address it, but I'm not sure about what your confusion is. I would love to talk about it. Let's see. So while Jay is typing that in, let's look at sleep. Over the last few years, I've had the honor of training 3 different neurologists, and one's a neuroradiologist, and they all know a lot about sleep, brain health, right? Plus, I've done lots of research, and everything I've come up with, and yes, it is the lowest level of research because it's just one person's opinion, but just something, and you can take it for what it's worth and see what resonates with you. But it is basically where I've landed on sleep recommendations is 7.5 to 9 hours sleep a night, with approximately 7 hours of deep sleep and 7 hours of REM sleep. Right now, how can you get that and how to improve and make your sleep even better? One thing to consider is to not eating at least 2 hours before sleep time. So if your sleep time is 10, then that'd be 8, right? No, past 8, no more eating, right? What happens is when we eat, our metabolism gets increased. It boosts up. Our body heats up, right? So when we get ready for bedtime, when we get ready for sleep time, we want to cool our body down. So the longer you can wait before bedtime, the more your body has a chance to cool down because it's not digesting food. And it gives it a chance to cool down and go into a cool sleep mode. And that's a nice sleep mode, right? Another thing we can do is we can, an hour or 2 before bedtime, bedtime, sleep time, we can minimize the lights in the room, minimize the blue lights like TVs, computers, phones, things like that. Minimize them the most possible, and that'll help too. Right? And then another thing is to just be consistent with the sleep patterns. Right? So consider the same, ideally, if possible, going to sleep the same time every night, every day. So just one thing to consider. And those are all some things on sleep. So consider enjoying it. I feel the top 3 core habits for health and fitness is sleep, exercise, and nutrition. Not necessarily in that order, but sleep is probably, well, from some of what I'm getting is sleep is probably the number one thing we can do for our health, from a health perspective, because if you're getting all your sleep, your body has the best chance to repair and rejuvenate every day, right? But exercise, of course, we have to have exercise if we're going to change our body and build, right? So I feel those are the 3 core. So I have the 5 simple steps, but the 3 core steps are sleep, exercise, and nutrition. Right. So now let's look at supplementation. So I feel there are basically 2 different categories of supplementations: nutritional supplementation and enhancement performance supplementation. I'm trying to bulk right now. I'll share with you an example of what I'm taking. This is my bulking powder, True Athlete plant-based protein powder. 2 scoops has 35 grams of protein, 560 calories. But I basically take 1 scoop 3 times a day. I don't want to take all the scoops are huge. It's like yeah, I don't want to eat all this in one setting, but it's a pretty big scooper. This is a big container. But 1 full scoop. So 2 full scoops. I take 3 scoops of this a day. And I'm enjoying this. It's a neutral flavor, really, plant-based, kind of like a vanilla, so you can make it any kind of way you want. And then I've been enjoying this Cell Tech by Muscle Tech. This is one of my, so I'm on a weight gain, so I'm loading with this Cell Tech. And then, say these are my favorite ones. And this is my Cree Alkaline So these are examples of, this is a nutritional supplement. Nutritional supplement, right? I want to gain weight, so I'm eating as much as I can plant-based, and I'm supplementing with more shake to gain that weight. This is a creatine, or it's actually called Alkaline. It's buffered creatine. Alkaline. It's buffered creatine. And what that is an example of a strength enhancement supplement, right? So we have nutritional supplements. To be clear, nutritional supplements, shakes, protein powders, and then we have enhancement performance supplements, creatine, and other things. And I put prescription medications in this category as well, right? And even TRT. All right, buddy. Good to see you, Jay. You have a good night, brother. Say good night. Say good night on the chat. Thanks for being here, buddy. Have some good workouts. Be blessed. And we'll wrap this topic up today talking about the mindset. So in summary, the 5 simple steps: exercise, nutrition, recovery, supplementation, mindset. Now, how can you use the mindset in regards to your fitness? CJ, how can we use our mindset in regards to fitness? Well, I started off this conversation with having you set a clear, specific goal with a specific body weight and a specific body fat percent. Then you're going to say it with a affirmation / prayer. I am happy and grateful now that I am, and then state your body weight goal and your body fat percent goal. Right? So that's how you're going to do it. Every day, say this phrase. So if you can remember it or write it down, I am happy and grateful now that I am, your body weight and your body fat percent goal. I'll use mine as an example. I am happy and grateful now that I am at least 190 pounds and at or below 10% body fat. See how clear and how specific that was, right? So imagine for a moment that you're in the ocean. You're standing there in the ocean. And if you've ever been in the ocean, you'd notice they have a current that goes through, and it'll kind of carry you along the beach, and you can kind of get far from your family or friends if you're not careful. But say you're trying to stay in the same place with health and fitness. I feel like we are kind of going against the current. You're going against the current, right? Now, how do you win this fitness game? How do you achieve your get in shape goal? Is you cut the resistance with the 5 simple steps: daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, exercising regularly, eating healthy, getting your sleep, supplementing intelligently, daily being clear about your fitness goals, exercise, eat, sleep, be on the supplements, have your daily goals, your fitness mindset. Daily, you're cutting through these things with your 5 simple steps. You're cutting through, and that is how you're going to cut through resistance. We all have to cut through. Champions, athletes, day-to-day people, we all have to cut through to build the body you want. For me to build the body I want, we all have to cut through. There's no way around it. So I encourage you to cut through to get in shape with the 5 simple steps of training or exercise, nutrition, recovery, supplementation, and mindset. Now, however you do this, I encourage you to consider getting it done, whether you can do it by yourself. But if you can't, I encourage you to ask for help. There's a few different ways to do it. One, if you have access in your community, if you live here in Tucson, I do one-on-one personal fitness training in a beautiful studio at Swan and Sunrise, and I would love to talk to you about if that's something that is a win-win for you there. But then also too, now since the pandemic and all, I've set up virtual fitness training. This is where I have the app that you can download. I can customize you a specific workout. I can hold you accountable to that workout. And it is about a third the cost of personal training, but I can still hold you accountable. The only thing is I'm not standing over you watching your every move and helping you with form and all that. But this is an option that we can still work together, and I can assist you with programming, diet, nutrition, and everything, and just assisting you through this process. That's virtual fitness training. If you feel like that is a fit for you, just consider messaging me the word FIT, F-I-T, to 520-400-9573. That's 520-400-9573. Message me the word FIT, then that'll tell me you want to set up a complimentary consultation. We can do it on the phone or Zoom, whichever one you're comfortable with, and we can get to know each other. I can find out your goals, set you up with a good program. So consider that, and remember that our health is wealth. Without our health, what difference does it matter what earthly possessions we have if we don't have our health? So I encourage you to make the most of your life, have the body and health and energy and sex drive that you deserve. So have that health, because health is wealth. All right. And if I can be of any service to you in the future, let me know. And my goal is to come at you here every Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday at 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. Be blessed, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.